So, Seth, what are some marketing and advertising mistakes everyone's got to stop doing?
Oh, that's a good one. You need to stop. I mean, honestly, now in the age of AI, you need to stop just taking the AI copy and putting it in and calling it a day. You need to make sure that you look over your copy, check it, and all that stuff. And another thing that people need to stop doing is just like for Google AdWords, it's just throwing your ads in and not doing negative keywords. Those are the keywords that you don't want to show up for. So you want to show up for dentist near me. Great. You want to show up for dentist in Doylestown. Great. You don't want to show up for, a podiatrist. Now, Google is only a robot. You might randomly show up for stuff that you don't want to show up for. Negative keywords are key in those things. And people need to really kind of think about all aspects of your marketing campaign, what you want to accomplish and what you don't want to accomplish. That's very important. The second part is you will eventually see as, give it a month, you will see stuff coming in there. Well, I don't want to really waste my money on that ad if it's going to show up for this stuff.
Yeah, no, that's actually very true. What else? Anything else you want to share?
Other things you got to stop doing. And that kind of goes back to the SEO thing. Stop writing for the robots. The robots will figure out what you want to write. Write for your ideal customer. Because if your customer comes to the site and they can't understand it, or if it's all gobbledygook because you're writing for every third word's a keyword for the search engine, you're not going to convert that client. So what does it matter if you're ranking high for it if you're not going to get an ROI on what you're selling? Write for the end consumer because they're the ones that are going to be buying, not the robots.
Right.
You tell them passionate about that. And I see it too much. Like we are a window and blinds company based in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Our windows and blinds company does XYZ. We make windows and blinds. It's like, oh my God, do you make windows and blinds? They get it already. Like, vary it up, right? For the humans, they get after the first time you say windows and blinds that you're a windows and blinds company. And also don't make that make your domain name, the www part, don't make it the exact match anymore because Google's caught up to that. The windows and blinds near me.com or windows and blinds Doylestown isn't beneficial. Use your brand, like Seth's windows and blinds. It's personal. People are going to remember that more than windows and blinds. It doesn't help you anymore.
And it's probably easier to rank for that as well.
Yeah, because not everyone's name is Seth who does windows and blinds.
Right.
So
I think one thing that a lot of marketers and advertisers should probably stop doing, and this wouldn't be true other time periods because today there are so many things you can do for marketing and advertising. And what I see often happening with a lot of our clients is that they have so many things on their plate, so many marketing and advertising strategies. It's way too much. What you want to do is don't have an overly complex marketing and advertising strategy. Have a very simple, just make it a very easy to understand 3-point strategy.
Absolutely.
Start with the offer, the end goal, the offer. What is compelling about you? Do you have a good offer in the first place? Buy one, get one free? Is it, 3 months free or whatever the case is? Start with a really good offer and then work your way back and just choose a couple of simple strategies. Like if you want to advertise in a newspaper or billboard, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. But really commit to it for a good chunk of time. But
I'd say 3 months minimum.
At least 3 months. If you want to do SEO, stick with SEO. But choose, I would say at most just 3 things at any given time to tackle, because otherwise what will end up happening is you'll forget. I know what will end up happening is that you'll forget about the other things that you were supposed to keep up with because there are so many things you have to touch every single day. If you're only doing 3 things, you're much more likely be able to keep up with those 3 things and see success from them. So less is going to be more when it comes to marketing and advertising.
Amen. I love that. It's so true because you can do stuff everything at once and you're gonna have no quality. It's just gonna be junk. Or you do 1 or 2, 3 things well, you can see results. And then doesn't mean you can't do those other things. You can ramp down the first 3 things you did, keep them going, but keep them on on the back burner and focus on 3 more things.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you'll get through your marketing plan.
Right. Exactly.
And things will be working.
Yeah. Another thing you got to stop doing is stop worrying about every single social media network out there. You don't have to be on Snapchat, Instagram, Threads, X, Twitter, LinkedIn. You don't have to be on everything and be everywhere.
No.
It's okay for your business to not have an Instagram. Did you know that? It's okay for you to not have a Snapchat. Just choose. If most of your customers are on LinkedIn, it's fine. Disable everything. Focus on 1 or 2 social network that you feel you could commit to on a daily basis. And that's it. Disable everything else. But don't try to spread yourself out way too thin and be everywhere all at once.
I totally agree with that. I think that if you're B2B, you should be on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
If you're B2C, maybe Instagram, Facebook. I don't even know why Snapchat's still around. So that's that. But like maybe Threads. I don't really know where Threads is landing yet in the B2B or B2C space. It's still relatively, it's still an infant, really. So we'll see where that goes. I think people should check it out. And also people when it comes to threads, you can turn off your threads account. You can't delete it without deleting your Instagram account, but that's fine. Just don't use threads. Just don't be active on it. You started it, you checked it out, it's dormant, like whatever. You don't have to delete everything. You don't. You can just say, I'm not here anymore. If you want to find me, here's where I'm at. And have that be your last post. I mean, that's what I did on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I will not be on Twitter. Elon's evil, and I'll put that on the record. And he's insane. So, but what I did is I didn't go in and delete all my content because there's some valuable stuff that people can see what I'm about since 2007. What I did is I said, I'm no longer here. If you want to find me, here's my website, here's my LinkedIn, here's my Mastodon account, here's my email address. I put my email address out there, a special email address that I could then, trash after a while because I know people with spammers probably get it. So if you want to get in touch with me, here's how you do it. And just stop using it. You don't have to delete everything because you can't. It's still there. Once you put something on the web, it's there.
Yeah. Another thing that I want you guys to stop doing is delegating too early. Let's say you're just starting your business, your startup, your company. Delegating, and I'm sure a lot of gurus or whatever will advise you to just delegate as much as you can. That's not a good idea.
No.
What you want to do is whatever it is that you are going to delegate, make sure that you know how to do that job. Let's say it's social media management. Let's say it's content writing. You don't have to be the best, but you need to be the first. Do it first yourself for a period of time. Make sure you can get some kind of success going with that. So that way afterward, one, you know how to delegate, you know what kind of metrics that constitute success for whatever that is. And you also know the difficulties, struggles, and challenges somebody will encounter when they take over this job. So that way you can actually assist them. The worst thing you can do is delegate way too early. The person you delegated to, you have no idea if they're doing a good job or a bad job. And when they run into issues, you're out of luck. You don't know how to help them. Don't do that. So
don't do that.
Yeah, don't delegate too early. Do the job first. Find some success with it. Write a very brief, quick outline on how to do that job. But at the very least, you have their respect and they understand that you know what you're doing.
Document the process. And oftentimes you'll find mistakes in your process as you go along, documenting it. So you'll say, oh, I could have done this better.
Yeah.
So you do that first, then you have a process documented, and then you hand it off to your subordinate, your coworker, your partner, or whatever. Even if you don't, you stop doing it. Let's say you stop using threads for a while. Well, now you're rusty. You forgot, how did I do this thing before? You have it documented. Put it in Notion. Put it in a notebook.
Yeah. So, Seth, if you only have $1,000 to market your business, how would you spend it?
Now I would spend it less on networking groups because I've kind of gotten in there and established. But one thing I've noticed is LinkedIn ads be very powerful, but they're also very expensive. Because the reason why is I'm very B2B. I'm going to other companies to help them with stuff and all that. So the idea is with LinkedIn ads, you can target the C-suite. You can target C-suite who's been in the C-suite for this many years, who has been at these companies. If I want to find a guy at a startup who's now the president of a startup who used to work at Google, you can do that all on LinkedIn ads. And this is not an ad for LinkedIn ads. It's just if I had $1,000 that wasn't committed to something, I'd definitely go play with that. And I do when I have that $1,000 to play with.
Right. Yeah. I think advertising is probably where I would go first as well if my budget is $1,000. If I only have $1,000 to spend on marketing or advertising, I agree with you there, Seth. What I would do is put it all into Google AdWords. And here's why. Just trying to get some customers at first, but I wouldn't have a complex marketing plan like I told you before. What I would do instead is target all of my competitors' keywords. So let's say I do carpet cleaning. I'm going to look at all the biggest carpet cleaners in my area. They probably have a brand name that's already established. I would try to see what their offer is. Let's say one guy offers entire room cleaning for $99. Well, I'm going to have an offer for $89. And I'm going to target his keyword. So when somebody searches, let's just say Michael's carpet cleaning, they're going to see my ad, Kai's carpet cleaning, better value, better yada, 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 yada. And they see $89. So that's where I would put it first, just to start getting some customers rolling through the door.
You only have $1,000. So you got to think about that too. Use it smartly.
Yeah. It's only $1,000. So make sure you're getting a return on that.
Yeah. Honestly, you do that, you get one client from that. Now you have another $1,000 to play with now.
Yeah.
You have more money to play with.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? And let me circle back to something.
Yeah.
Another mistake that I see a lot of marketers do is they try branding too early. If you're just starting out, and you have a very limited budget, spend that on sales, spend that on customer acquisition. Don't be too clever. Don't try to brand yourself. Branding is very expensive, as you probably know, Seth.
God, yeah.
Branding is not cheap. If you have the money to spend on advertisements or marketing just to get your brand out there, honestly, you're already successful.
Yeah.
Focus on branding when you're successful and you have a lot of money to play around with. If you don't, focus on sales and focus on getting customers through the door.
You can get a simple logo using Canva.
Yeah.
Make it your initials. Make it Kai's web design company. Like you can do a DBA later, doing business as later. At least in the United States, you can do it later and then change your name without having to change the whole legal structure too. So, and I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV. So.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's it for this episode.
That was fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Seth, for jumping onto this episode and chatting with us.
I love it.
It's great chatting with you.
Always a pleasure, buddy.
Likewise.